What's up guys, welcome back to If Chronicles. In this video we're going to be talking about the top 3 projects that I think everybody should be farming. I've been getting that question a lot because you guys know that I'm farming 1 to 2 projects every single day, and probably not everybody wants to do that. So in case you just want to be farming the top projects, I just created a list. We're going to be looking at some stats, some information about those projects and how much money we could be making from them. So number 1 on the list is, of course, zkSync. And here's what I really like zkSync. If we go to CryptoRank and we type zkSync and we check the funding, so how much money they have raised, we can see that currently they raised $458 million. And this is not the valuation. This is just showing the amount of money that they raised. So let's say that the valuation is $1 billion, $2 billion. So from there, we more or less can calculate how much money will go to the airdrop. So for example, Arbitrum, the airdrop was around 12% of the total tokenomics. So let's say that zkSync will open at maybe $2 billion, right? Because the investors, they need to make some money. So we have $2 billion and we do 12% as an example. So basically there is $240 million that could go to the airdrop. So that is a lot of money. When you put it in comparison with some DEXs, that's why usually you just receive like $50, $100 from some DEXs, because usually they just have a 10 million, 20 million, $30 million market cap. But when you put it in comparison with a bigger project, with a blockchain, that's really where you can make a lot of money, really a few Ks. So for example, Arbitrum, a lot of people made 10K, 15K, 20K just from one wallet. I myself, I took just a few transactions on Arbitrum and I made, I think it was like 1.5, 1.6K just by using $30 and taking a few swaps. So you guys can imagine how much money you can make on zkSync. Also, zkSync, if we go to DeFi Llama and we type it here, zkSync, you guys can see how much money there is in total value lock. Even though it is showing $160 million, it is way bigger than that. Because actually zkSync on DeFi Llama, they're just taking all the projects listed on DeFi Llama, not all the projects that is on zkSync. So currently just from the list here, there is $160 million, but I think that last time I checked, it was around $400 million, $500 million. So again, not bad at all for a project that for zkSync era, which launched around April 26. So again, not bad. Also, if we go to Orbiter.finance and we check the rollup data, we can see that zkSync, since they started, they already have 28 million transactions. Total account is at $2.5 million. Also, let's see, 2.5 accounts, 2.5 million accounts. Then we have the total transactions for 1 day, and this is delayed 10 days, so that was 10 days ago. In just 24 hours, they made 65,000 transactions. Active account 21K and new account 4K. Let's take a look at, for example, 14 days. See zkSync, we have 1 million transactions, active account 238, so almost a 250,000 active account in just 14 days. New account 70K. So as you can see, you can even compare it to some bigger projects as Optimism, as Arbitrum. So again, not bad at all. So currently they're ranking at number 4. So in terms of what we can do on zkSync, first of all, you need to bridge some funds. For that, I actually recommend using the main bridge at least once or twice. Then you can start taking some transactions. I also recommend using Odos because 1, it is tokenless, and 2, it is actually the cheapest. Usually I am paying like 30 cents, 40 cents for each of my transactions. I even have a video on how I added over $4,000 on Odos with just using $200 in funding. So I had $200 in ETH and I added more than 4K in volume in, I don't know, maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes just by taking a few swaps on Odo. So super cheap, and I spent like $10 to $11 on gas fees. Other than that, if you want to continue to bridge and you don't want to use the main bridge because it is using Ethereum and that can be a little bit expensive, just go ahead and, for example, you can use Orbiter Finance, LayerSwap, or MessenFi, which are also tokenless bridges. So you can, again, increase your chances of receiving many other airdrops. For some of the projects built on zkSync, we have DerbDex, we have SyncSwap, we have Pinnacle Exchange, we have Izumi. So there are many projects. Just make sure that if you're using one of them, at least it is tokenless, so you might increase your chances to also receive an airdrop from a DEX. So number 2 on the list is a project that I really love, and this is one that I think we could be able to make even more money than zkSync, to be honest. So let's go back here. We're gonna click on the second, which is of course LayerZero. And here's the crazy thing about LayerZero. Let's go here and type LayerZero. We're gonna take a look at the funding. They have the valuation here, which is $3 billion, guys. $3 freaking billion. That's a lot of money. $3 billion. So if we go ahead and do the same calculation at a 12%, $3 billion by 12%, that is $360 million that could go to the airdrop. Of course, we don't know exactly if they're going to be airdropping 5%, 10%, 12%, 15%, but just by using Arbitrum's metrics, could be around $300 million, which is just crazy. And that is just by using the current valuation that they have. So they can actually continue to increase and open up at a bigger valuation. So again, not bad at all. In terms of, for example, how many people are using LayerZero, this is even crazier. So if we go to the website and click on LayerZero scan here, you guys can see that the total transactions on LayerZero is 52 million transactions, guys. 52 million transactions. If we go back to rollups data, you can even compare it, for example, with zkSync is only 28 million transactions. So LayerZero actually almost doubled that amount. So again, super crazy the amount of people that are using LayerZero, the amount of projects that are adding LayerZero technology for them to bridge. So for me, this is a project that again, I think we could be making a crazy amount of money just by looking at the valuation. In terms of how we can actually use LayerZero, since it is a technology, there is no direct way to use it. We need to use projects that are using LayerZero technology. Some of them, and I would say that it is the simplest, is SushiSwap. So instead of you swapping, you need to swap from one chain to the other. So for example, let's say that I have some ETH on Arbitrum and I want to receive it on Optimism, then you can just click on cross-chain swap and then you can take a swap and then it will be added for your LayerZero transactions. I'm gonna be adding some links in this video because I already have a, I already have one video for each one of them. So I have one for LayerZero, I have one for zkSync, so you can take a look and learn how you can actually farm it. So we have a second, Starknet Finance, which is actually the cheapest. So if you want to move stables from one chain to the other, you can actually use Starknet Finance. Then we have PancakeSwap. Last, we have Trader Joe and Radiant. The only issue with Trader Joe and Radiant is that on Trader Joe, you can only bridge Joe tokens, and on Radiant you can only bridge Radiant tokens. So in the end, if you're really looking into using LayerZero, there's really not a lot of things that you can do from Radiant and also Trader Joe. So in that case, just make sure that you take at least 1 or 2 transactions on Trader Joe and Radiant, and then you can proceed to use SushiSwap, Starknet Finance, and PancakeSwap Bridge. So there you go. So now number 3. Number 3, which is a little bit more complicated, is Startnet. So let's go ahead and check Startnet here and see how much money they have raised and look at the valuation. Let's see if they have it. So currently they raised $282 million. That's a lot of money also. We don't have the total valuation, but again, that's a lot of money. $282 million, that is still a lot. So probably the valuation, holy cow, here it is. Here it is, my bad. Valuation for Starknet is $8 billion. Holy. Okay, that's a lot of money. $8 billion. So that is actually bigger than LayerZero. Geez, that's a lot of money. Okay, perfect. Then again, geez, that's a lot of money. So here again, so let's go ahead and take a look at some stats. We have Starknet here. We have total transactions. We have 20 million, so not bad, just on the zkSync. We have total account at 444, so it is actually smaller. Then we have transactions for the last 14 days, 2.6 million, and new account 511. Again, not bad at all. For that, you just need to bridge some funds. It is a little bit complex on how to do it, so make sure to look at the video that I'm going to be posting here, and then just make sure to use the projects built on Starknet. We have MySwap, AVNU, JadaSwap, 10K Swap, MinSquare for NFTs, and all of them are tokenless. So again, you're also increasing your chances for another airdrop. And there you go. So make sure that you're actually farming all of them, adding some volume, being very consistent. And guys, if you have any questions, as usual, just drop it in the comment section. And if this content was valuable enough, please share it with a friend, subscribe, like. Talk to you later.